Mate, you've been sacked. I've taken over. Taken over.
That's fair enough.
Testing.
I thought we had a new one, special commentator. Always open the door.
Well, he's a good sport. He let me do it. I couldn't help it.
He's a nice man. He is. How are you? Sorry, I'll just do that first.
You're not late at all.
I did my team sheets in the car, so now we're ready to go.
That was just me saying. Microphone, I had the power there for a minute.
Testing.
I tell you what, when you put that mic over there, that was I've also brewed it up.
That's what I'm really looking for, so I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
That'll be done.
Exactly. Awesome. Thank you very much.
It was only $1 last week. Female ref today too.
No, I don't think so. Yes. Well, except of course it's not this Sunday, it's fine. It's not last Sunday. So, good question. I don't think I've ever really considered that. Sure.
You'll see the line coming. She'll be like,
Yeah.
that's what she can't stand.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
wish I could give it. Actually, no, what's this? Actually, no, up to here, sorry. Yes. No, not to me, I'm upstairs. It's on the common screen. Yeah, do you have the name of the desk? Yeah, it's got Jasmine in the middle. Is that just on the right? Same on the right, yeah. Yep. He's got Denise Horner. What's the surname? Horner, Horner, N-E-R, yep. And then the other one's first name's Paris, and it's from Toronto. Okay, that's alright. You know what? I might be able to skip it over. Hurry on, something like that. It's not a long time. Oh, it's one name. So you could write it. Lucas Bonnici, right? Lucas Bonnici, yeah. I've seen that one written down on that. Right. Thanks so much, Lucas. Good luck, Jack. Into the final month of the Senol NPLW Victoria season, and the games keep getting bigger. Box Hill and Bulleen going head to head this afternoon. After that moment of silence led by our central referee, Jasmine St. Laurent, both teams shake hands as we prepare to get underway with what is surely the biggest of the lot on this huge afternoon of Senol NPLW Victoria action. 4 games, all with consequence for the finals race, for the race to be premiers, and perhaps none more so than this between 2 of the teams who started the weekend in the top 3. Third place Bulleen on 46 points heading into the final 4 games of the campaign against top of the tree Box Hill, just the 4 points ahead on 50 at the start of the weekend. A chance to really stretch that gap for Pythagoras this afternoon, but it's not going to be an easy task ahead of them as they head to the Veneto Club to take on a Bulleen Lions team who are always there and thereabouts, it seems, under Caitlin Friend. This game kicking off an hour after the other 3 games, which all had their 3 p.m. concurrent kickoffs. Avondale leading South Melbourne at the halftime break. Essendon Royals and Bentley in a surprise 2-2 draw at their halftime, whilst Alamein and Burundara remain at 0-0. But that's all taking place around Melbourne as the afternoon progresses. Here, though, this afternoon, Box Hill and Bulleen, the 3rd meeting between these teams this season. The first 2 have been absolute belters, so we'll be hoping that we get much more of the same today. My name is Oscar Rutherford, here to talk you through this afternoon's actions as we see both teams in their pre-match huddle. Few changes coming from both coaches heading into this huge game. Box Hill, a couple of changes made by Kogu Sabaratnam. There's no Aaron Kate in his matchday squad this afternoon, and what is a big blow, whilst Pearl's Teen will start this afternoon from the bench. They've got some handy incoming players, though, to replace them through or in the form of Karina Rossi and Holly Murray, both A-League calibre talents. And, of course, the biggest inclusion of all for Box Hill comes via the bench. Sophia Sakalis is back in a Box Hill shirt, and we may well see her take to the pitch, perhaps in the second half, coming off the bench in what is a real case of bringing in the cavalry, heading into the final month of the regular season and into finals. Whilst for Bulleen, Caitlin Friend has made 4 changes from the team, which got the win against South Melbourne last time out. There's no Emily Shields in between the sticks, which means Alyssa Daloste has been restored to the starting 11. Alongside her are Alana Cortolino, who scored off the bench last week and now gets a start. Tiff Aliadis returns from suspension, whilst Annie Yates plays her first game in over a month. They take the places of JG Garon, Ava Bridus and Ash Jordan, who will all start from the bench. And with the whistle of our central referee, we're underway at the Veneto Club. Bulleen Lions and Box Hill going head-to-head in a game that could go a long way to deciding final ladder positions, potentially the premiers, one of these 2 teams. It's Bulleen who desperately need the win if that's still their ambition. Starting this afternoon, 4 points behind their opponents today. Essendon Royals sandwiched in between them as well. The Royals hosting Bentley Greens at the same time as this one. And it's an early little spell of possession for Bulleen as Maya Markovsky looks to send the ball forward. That little toe poke from Alana Cortolino, but Tiff Eliadis was offside. As mentioned, 2 meetings already between these 2 teams this season, both ending 2-2 after 90 minutes. First, back in round 10, these teams played at Wembley Park, and Box Hill's 2 goals in the first half cancelled out by Bulleen's 2 in the second. And then more recently, just over a month ago, the Nike Cup quarter-final also at Wembley Park. That one went all the way to penalties after another 2-2 draw. Bulleen coming away with the win, eventually 7-6 on penalties. The Lions, of course, then were back here for the semi-final where they were defeated by eventual Nike Cup champions Essendon Royals. But that's all in the past. And now these teams solely focused on their league campaign. Premiership still up for grabs, and then finals ahead of that. We may well see these teams meet again come September. As we see that ball played through, hoping for Rihanna Policina. Marshalling it on the way back was Claudia Miocic, and indeed seen over for a goal kick. Running you through both starting 11s for Bulleen. In goal, Alyssa Daloste. Number 2 is Annie Yates. 3, Kat Renahan. 4, Claudia Miocic.
8 is Sarah Kane, 9 Nia Saleh, 12 is Liv Bomford, 14 Tiff Eliadis, 15 Cleo Angel, 17 Maya Markovsky, and number 22 is Alana Cordolino. Whilst for Box Hill in goal, Keely Sagavcic. Number 8 is Amelia Tartaglia, 9 Karina Rossi, 10 Rihanna Polacina, 11 Chiara Bercelli, 12 is Sydney Minarik, 15 Sophia Paliwoda, 22 Holly Murray, 25 Maho Murakami, 28 Laura Pickett, and number 32 Yuri Kawano. As we saw, Rihanna Polacina attempting the ball through there for Rossi. The offside flag did go up, but it was a moot intervention as the ball found its way through to Daloste in between the sticks for Bulleen. A little bit of danger playing out the back for Bomford as the Box Hill numbers converged, and they retreat now to Laura Pickett. One of a number of players on the park who have an association with Melbourne Victory is Pickett, as well as a long-term contributor to this Box Hill Football Club, has seen them through a number of seasons and not many times better than what they've enjoyed over the last year and a half, Box Hill. Of course, defending champions as they are, en route to being crowned NPL champions. They did come here to the Veneto Club to beat Bulleen in the semi-finals. Or preliminary finals is perhaps the preferred term. The game to seal their spot in the grand final, which they ultimately won against Heidelberg. Markovsky slides it through to Cordolino. It's a good ball. Alana Cordolino gets the first look on goal for the afternoon. Couldn't quite steer the top shot on target. And it's come off a Box Hill player on the way out as well. So a corner coming up for Bulleen. First look this afternoon from a dead ball situation. In swinging corner into the heart of the box. Markovsky towards goal. The follow-up now. And just over the crossbar was the final attempt. Sarah Kane expressing a little bit of frustration in the aftermath. But that's a good look for Bulleen in what has been a promising start for the hosts. 5 minutes played. Alana Cordolino with the first real good look at goal. And from the follow-up, Sarah Kane just over the bar. Some really strong defensive work shown by Nia Saleh, winning back possession for Bulleen. Pinched it from Tartaglia, but Box Hill quick to recover the ball. That one well read by Annie Yates, but her attempted ball forward was cut out by Rossi. And now there's a chance down the right flank for Box Hill. Yuri Kawano decided to go herself. The angle always working against her, and indeed a shot not causing any trouble for Daloste. That famous win for Box Hill at this venue, the last time these two teams met at the Veneto Club, saw Box Hill reach the grand final, overcoming the weight of history in the process. That was their first win in 23 attempts against Bulleen Lions. It's been an extraordinarily one-sided head-to-head, particularly over the last 10 years or so. The time before that Box Hill beat Bulleen was in 2016. Since then, since the semi-final, that is last year, 2 more meetings, a draw and a Bulleen win on penalties. So Box Hill, the wins against Bulleen don't come around very often. They'd love one this afternoon. It would go a long way to potentially putting them towards a premiership crown. Here's Yuri Kawano for Pythagoras. Looks inboard to Murakami. Murakami spreads the play over to that left-hand side. Lofted over the top for Polacina. Box Hill firing a couple of shots, neither yet on target, but Alyssa Daloste being forced to remain alert early in this game. Nearly a dangerous giveaway for Bulleen, playing out from the back. Eventually it's hoofed clear. Just taking a look at the players on the pitch, it does look as if there has been a late change for Box Hill. Nina Bucalo appears to have popped up on that left flank there with that last touch. Here's Murakami inboard to Rossi, and Bulleen scramble it away. Stepping up was Pickett, now near Saleh for Bulleen. Murakami stepping forward, and Kawano has space on the right. Has a few targets in the middle. Kawano goes along the deck, no one arriving in the right area. Paliwoda, couple of touches, couldn't get the shot away. Minarik goes to Murakami, now out to Kawano. Box Hill just exerting a little bit of authority on this game by way of territory and possession. Bulleen hoping to shift that ledger back in their favour. See some space now on the right flank for Bulleen as they look to work their way forward. Solid run was made by Cleo Angel. Box Hill back in possession, but it does definitely look as if Nina Bucalo has come into the starting 11 late and seemingly replaced Chiara Bercelli in what is, well, a significant miss for Box Hill. Bercelli, one of the standout players in the NPL this season, has taken the competition by storm. Thankfully for Box Hill, they have a very able replacement in the form of Bucalo. Policina and Kane. That battle won by the Bulleen player, uses Bomford. Policina doesn't wait long though to win back possession. Now Rossi leads the charge for Box Hill. Decides to go herself. Karina Rossi from a long way out. Oh, she's hit the post. Alyssa Daloste was scrambling back, unable to get there. And that's the closest either team have come. Rossi, who really had a breakout last season in a Box Hill shirt, off the back of which she earned that A-League move and very nearly opening the scoring this afternoon. Here's Policina. Inboard to Rossi again. Turns into some space. Shot from Bucalo. Mijicic cleared it central where Kane was. That ball out to Alana Cordolino. And now Angel. Skips past Minarik. Not able to beat Murray though. And now Box Hill regain possession. It has been Box Hill who have probably controlled the majority of this opening 11 and a half minutes, spending a little bit more time on the ball. Getting a game that is more akin to how Kogi Sabaratnam will have drawn up his plan than that of Caitlin Friend. That ball, though, very nearly won back by Cordolino. Indeed, Bulleen have possession now. Tifeliadis is offside again, though, so for a second time, the Bulleen forward just going a little bit early. Just to finish the point on the head-to-head, it doesn't mean that Box Hill have won just one of the last 25 games between these teams, all things considered. Helps an overall head-to-head of 34 games played up till today, 23 of which have been won by Bulleen. Tiff Eliadis is onside this time. Cordelino with the overlapping run. Minara trying to quell her influence, but Cordelino skips past, cross in board, read by Murray. Bacalo tracking back. And some warm words of encouragement coming from the Box Hill bench for Nina Bacalo's defensive work there. Referee very nearly getting in the way of that one, but did well to evade the ball. Kawano now for Box Hill. Goes central for Murakami, who has Paliwoda. Of course, have seen Paliwoda at the heart of defence plenty this season, alongside often Sydney Minarik, but they've both had to adjust to accommodate Pickett and Murray coming into the team halfway through the season. Minarik picking up the left full-back position with Paliwoda stepping into midfield. Holly Murray, who spent the most recent A-League season with Adelaide United, shares it with her centre-back partner in Pickett. Well, we've seen already in the opening 14 minutes of this game just how much attacking potential both of these teams possess. I don't need a whole lot of looks in to appear distinctly dangerous. For now, though, we're still awaiting the opening goal. Here's Renahan. Went the direct approach, read best by Minarik. Minarik and Bacalo combining again, and that's a really lovely pass central to Murakami. And now stepping out of defence once more is Pickett. Well read by Annie Yates. Policina was there to collect the scraps. Kawano now crosses first time, met by Mircic, and Box Hill have themselves their first corner of the afternoon. Swinger for Box Hill this time, got a little bit more depth on it. There was Markovsky using her height for Bulleen's defensive benefit. Clearing ball, Tartaglia, happy to send it out for a throw. Well, as much as the historical record favours Bulleen, Box Hill have been in a hot streak of form over the last couple of months. They haven't lost a league game since May, so over 2 months now. Won 7 of their last 8 games, just the one draw in that run at Lakeside against South Melbourne. Ball over the top. Cordelino's onside. It's a beautiful pick through of the Box Hill defence, and Alana Cordelino opens the scoring for Bulleen. Just like that, piercing the Box Hill shape. And Alana Cordelino, she already had one great look. She doesn't pass up the second. And Bulleen Lions lead at the Veneto Club. 2 goals in 2 weeks now for Cordelino. Came off the bench last time out to get the goal that really sealed the win against South Melbourne, and now putting her team in the front seat against Box Hill. That goal coming somewhat against the run of play. You felt like Box Hill had more control of proceedings, albeit that always felt a little bit tenuous. But just like that, the ball over the top. Simple as you like it, direct play. And it's the goal that has Bulleen leading. Which would mean on the live ladder, moving to within a single point of their opponents today. Very much keeping their premiership hopes alive. It was Claudia Mircic who played the ball from the very heart of defence all the way to a dangerous attacking position, and it was a splendid finish from Cordelino as well, in off the frame of the goal, giving Kili Sagavcic no chance really of saving that one. Taking a look around the grounds as well, there did look like a serious prospect of an upset at Cross Keys at half-time. 2-2 between the Royals and Bentley Greens. Since then, Essendon Royals have reclaimed the lead, but that game still finely poised, so we'll wait and see the final result in that one. But with the scores as they stand, with Royals leading that one and Bulleen leading here at the Veneto Club, it does mean that Essendon Royals would be going top of the tree, level on points with Box Hill, but ahead on goal difference, whilst Bulleen would be just the 1 point behind both of their rivals heading into the final 3 games of the season. Avondale as well, they're leading 1-0 against South Melbourne at the moment, so they would be jumping up to within 3 points of top spot, so it would very much tighten things at the tippy point of the NPLW Victoria ladder, the results as they currently stand. Still though, plenty of time for Box Hill to try and regain some ascendancy. Bomford, Kane and Markovsky try their triangle of passes. Polisina. There was Mircic reading the through ball and now looks for Eliadis, who's onside. Bacalo, or I should say rather, Laura Pickett back on the wide part of the defence. Sent up forward, Kawano unable to take control. Yates looking inboard, the sliding attempt from Murakami, just not enough to intercept the ball to Kane. Now Bomford, Eliadis. From outside the area, Tiff Eliadis tried the shot, falls into the path of Cordelino. Alana Cordelino, oh, she's already scored 1. Now she's hit the crossbar as well. There was a bit of fortune in that one for Bulleen. Eliadis doing the work in the build-up. Ball falling favourably for Cordelino, but very nearly a second Bulleen goal. they have scored the 4 goals in 2 sets of 90 minutes. Box Hill this season against Bulleen. No guarantee, though, that they'll repeat that feat this afternoon. Bulleen do have the stingiest defence in NPLW Victoria up to this point. Just the 21 goals conceded in 22 games. Consider how effectively Box Hill have been able to penetrate Bulleen defensively. It really does speak to the quality of Pythagoras going forward, and also serves as a warning not to underestimate just how difficult this Bulleen team can be to score against. Mircic sends it upfield. Eliadis looks inboard for Saleh. Instead, Paliwoda with the armband. Minarik retreats to the goalkeeper Sagavcic. Just goes for distance. Does find Murakami. Now Holly Murray. Heard the shout there from Policina for Pickett to drive, and oblige did the Box Hill defender. It's created a good look for Box Hill. Murakami from a long way out. Maho Murakami. Narrowly too much height on the attempt, but another warning shot fired by the visitors. Well, we were expecting an end-to-end excitement-filled contest this afternoon, and the first 25 minutes have certainly delivered. Two teams who do not back down from a challenge and really throwing everything at their opponents so far. The shout from the Box Hill dugout is more speed on the ball, as Box Hill continue to surgically knock the ball around, waiting for an opportunity to penetrate. That might be now, as Rossi dropping to help open up the Bulleen defence. Now Policina out wide to Tartaglia, offside though. Fullback getting involved in the attack. For what it's worth in the aftermath, Karina Rossi, her shot was off the crossbar and out, so she'll be very glad that that didn't have any significance in this game. Talia and Saleh resuming their battle. Couple of talented young guns. Saleh still just 19 years of age, Tartaglia 18. Going head to head in one of the biggest games of the season as we creep towards finals. Here's Pickett into Policina. Carlo was under the cosh, and indeed it's cleverly won back by Cleo Angel. Just didn't quite have the support in numbers that Bulleen needed to make something of it. Now Policina spreads the play to Kawano. struggling to make meaningful inroads the last few minutes, Box Hill. And denied again by Cleo Angel, who's had an excellent start to this game. Box Hill quickly back in possession, but right now Bulleen feeling fairly comfortable. Paliwoda hoping to change that. See how quick the Bulleen numbers are to close down anyone in the middle of the park for Box Hill with the ball at their feet. Stepping up was Pickett again. Carlo putting through Rossi. Renahan favoured by her position and thumps it out of play. So there is a throw in their attacking third for Box Hill. They've had to be very patient to generate any real looks in and around the penalty area. Here's Murakami along with Bukalo. Spreads it back out to Minarik. And Bulleen able to step out of their deep-lying defensive position in time. They have somewhat repelled the repeat entry from Box Hill. Rossi. Back out to Minarik, who steps inside. Rossi and Policina again. Bukalo. Clever first touch. Pretty clear-cut foul. It's outside the penalty area, but Box Hill with a free kick in a tempting position. Nina Bukalo has stayed down. Did really well to skip past and be caught by the dangling leg, and is now back to her feet. So Box Hill, the look at goal from a difficult angle to defend. It is, of course, tight, which will favour Daloste, but just getting the wall positioning perfect and, of course, so close to the penalty area. Potential to pick out a well-timed run. So the consultation is over on the edge of the area. It's Policina who lofts it inside, headed towards goal. Maho Murakami was the target. The target was picked out. Murakami headed it towards goal, but slides the shot wide of the target. So over half an hour played now at the Veneto Club. It really has raced by. Bulleen still with the lead thanks to that Alana Cordolino goal. Pomford was effective on the turn. Now Markovski. Angel charging forward, overlapping Cordolino. The ball through will favour Pickett, who uses her body wisely. Has the healthy size advantage against Alana Cordolino. So that a battle that Pickett will win, you'd think, 10 out of 10 times. And indeed, the end result is a Box Hill goal kick. That ball into the middle invites a little bit of pressure near Saleh now. The defence did its job for Box Hill. Well, Annie Yates deemed to have handled the ball there as it just got a little bit high on her. Fair to say, a reasonable amount of disagreement from both the players and spectators with that last decision as to where exactly the ball had struck. But in any case, the result is Box Hill with the ball in the Bulleen half again. One of those games that would quite often be described as a chess match. Mahu Murakami almost caught on it by Kane. It is such fine margins. Just that slightly misdirected pass from Murray to Pickett allowed Bulleen to step up and close down some space. Box Hill do eventually surge forward, but once again are repelled. Markovsky and Polisena. It's Box Hill player who won initially and does come away with the throw for her team. I do wonder how Caitlin Friend would assess the state of play as it currently stands. Of course, her team are in the lead. And whilst Box Hill have had all this possession, they haven't looked particularly likely to threaten Alyssa Daloste over the last 10-15 minutes. The thing is, it's not exactly the Caitlin Friend style of play to which we've all become accustomed, though, over the last number of years. The Bulleen team out of possession and holding their shape, being disciplined without the ball. So whether it's sustainable, we'll have to wait and see. Box Hill do have themselves another free kick, which Rihanna Polisena takes a look at. This one a fair way further out than the last look, but could well see a ball lofted in towards a run being made by a teammate again. Paliwoda leaves it for Polisena again. And once more Murakami with the header. And once more, the attempt is off target. The way this game has turned isn't hugely surprising, considering, well, once Bulleen had the lead, there wasn't the same end-to-end necessity that it felt like the first 15 minutes had. Both teams looking for the goal, both teams preferring attack and throwing bodies forward. Bulleen being much more reserved since taking the lead and seeing if they can repel Box Hill repeatedly. They've done it to great effect up to this point. They've got a corner to defend here, though. It is the risk if you keep giving opposition with the quality of Box Hill looks, even looks that aren't of particularly high quality. A moment of magic, a particularly well-delivered ball, a shot from outside the area, could all undo Bulleen's defensive effort. We'll see if that moment is forthcoming, and if it is, whether it's now. Rihanna Polisena once again to deliver. This one's right into the middle of the box, headed towards goal, and there it is for Box Hill. The moment did indeed arrive, and this time Rihanna Polisena's ball is perfect, headed home, 1-1 at the Veneto Club. Just the mass of numbers in and around Alyssa Daloste making it a bit of a nightmare. Holly Murray appeared to get the decisive touch. It came off a Bulleen body, but we'll presumably credit Murray with the goal. So Holly Murray back into the 11 this afternoon. And onto the score sheet for Box Hill. An unlikely source, But Kogu Sabaratnam won't mind. Box Hill level again. And this game is right back, hanging in the balance. So with around about 10 minutes remaining in this opening half, we turn to see how Bulleen respond. Whether perhaps we'll get a game that looks a little bit more like the first 15 minutes did, the pinging end-to-end style. Now the Bulleen once more having to go and chase a goal. It is they who are more desperate for the win than Box Hill. A draw could well be sufficient for Pythagoras. A little bit of discussion as to which way the throw was to be awarded, but eventually the decision made for a Box Hill ball. Should mention our assistants on that far side, Denise Horner, and on the camera side, Paris Perioris, with fourth official Lucas Benicia. All assisting Jasmine Saint Laurent in the middle of the park. For the third time in this half, Tiff Eliadis has been caught offside. That goal from Holly Murray, her second in NPL football this season. Pickett's ball cleverly touched forward by Kawano and won back by Murakami. Tried the reverse pass, maybe hoping that Kawano had continued the run with more aggression than she had. Bomford now. Read best by Pickett. Now Karina Rossi shifts the ball onto her left for retreating to Policina. Kawano's in space on the right, and that's where the ball heads. Murakami in support. Cross inside, lofted towards the back post. It's an awkward one to deal with defensively, but it's very well done by Cleo Angel. Murakami's pass to Policina is excellent. Now Policina looks goalward. Daloste quickest to react. Well, it's been a fascinating first 40 minutes at the Veneto Club. Seeing some of the real qualities that both of these teams possess. I'd say Box Hill have probably edged it on the general play. Some of that a response to the game state of being a goal down. But Bulleen, since grabbing that opening goal, they haven't threatened particularly at the opposite end of the park. Been doing plenty of defending, which they've done fairly well on the whole. But just ultimately inviting too much from Box Hill, which saw them drawn back level. And even really since the goal, you felt like Bulleen have struggled to get back into their attacking stride. Box Hill hunting for a second goal in quick succession to turn the scoreline on its head. It's a really nice run from Minarik. Paliwoda's offside. So if this game does end level, regardless of the Royals' result, it would mean that Box Hill's destiny is still very much in their own hands. 3 games to play after this. If they win them all, Box Hill, to go with a draw today, then they will be premiers. Plenty of contingencies, though, in that statement. Near Saleh now for Bulleen. Back to Yates. Looks central to Bomford, who had all the numbers around her, had to slide in, did Bomford. Now Rossi's touch got away from her. Saleh. Inviting the pressure from Paliwoda, did well to get it clear, but no one went for the loose ball from Bulleen. So Box Hill back in possession and Policina has space. Rihanna Policina hoping to generate an opportunity on her right. Kawano's pass is clever. Murakami even more so. Well, it was beautiful football from Box Hill. Yuri Kawano's shot in the end pulled wide of the target. Had that one gone in, it would have been one of the best of the season. Box Hill, though, well and truly in the ascendancy right now. With a couple of minutes to go until half-time, it'll be Caitlin Friend more eager for the half-time whistle. Miocic threatened to cough up possession to Murakami. Now Policina. Her and Rossi do the 1-2. Paliwoda from a long way out. Well, out of all the players who are very capable of those long-range strikes, Paliwoda would be on that list, but maybe a little bit further down than the likes of Policina and Rossi ahead of her. The Box Hill press has kicked into overdrive in the last 5-10 minutes. Bulleen totally constrained in their own half. Yuri Kawano's cross always favoured Renahan. The follow-up from Minarik. She would have had to hit that as sweet as any strike in her career for that to trouble Alyssa Daloste, and indeed it flies well wide of the target. So we're about to find out how much first half stoppage time there will be. Alyssa Daloste not taking any chances with the playing out from the back this time. It's well controlled by Eliadis as Kane back over the top to Tiff Eliadis. This would be a sucker punch for sure. The shot, though, lacking the power to trouble Sagavcic. And we head into 2 minutes of first half stoppage time. Kane with the press. Saleh Markovski back to Kane. Murray, though, with the crucial intervention. Cordolino got her body in the right position to defy Bucalo. Angel. The end result is a Bulleen throw. So having spent so much of the last 20 minutes on the back foot, Bulleen, they've now deep into the first half got themselves perhaps a look to snag back the lead just before the break. They've been repelled the first time of asking. Cleo Angel all the way back to Renahan. That's a really nice turn from Liv Bomford, though. Saleh is offside. That's the 5th or 6th time that a Bulleen player has been caught offside. The Box Hill defence clearly in sync with one another. And you wonder whether that will be the last meaningful foray forward. It's not going to be, though, because Alana Cordolino is surging towards the Box Hill penalty area. 3 or 4 white shirts, though, do enough. Pass to Policina, read by Kane. Murray sending it clear. Nia Saleh on the left. Can Bulleen grab back the lead just before the break? Cross inside, met by Sophia Paliwoda. Scuffs the clearance, though. And eventually the ball is sent away by Amelia Tartaglia. And that will be half-time. Well, a thrilling first 45 in a game that has lived up to expectations. End-to-end start. Really fascinating battle in the middle period. And then towards the end, seeing some more attacking flair at both ends. But the end result of all of that, after 45 and a bit minutes, is a goal each for Bulleen and Box Hill. Alana Cordolino put the Lions on the right track early on in the game. Box Hill poking and prodding for an equaliser. They eventually found it through the head of Holly Murray. And so as we head into the second 45 in this table-shaping clash towards the end of the season, the game still finely poised, both teams right in the contest. Half-time at the Veneto Club, Bulleen Lions 1, Box Hill 1. Welcome back to the Veneto Club. Second half about to get underway between Bulleen Lions and Box Hill. 1-1 at the break. Alana Cordolino's opener for Bulleen cancelled out by Holly Murray's headed effort. And it means it is still all to play for heading into the second 45 of this crucial clash at the top end of the Senol NPLW Victoria ladder. Just 3 games to play each after today. Box Hill currently in pole position to secure a premiership crown. Bulleen, though, will have something to say about it, and that needs to start with a win this afternoon. First look a goal for Bulleen, perhaps incoming, as Bomford looks towards Cordolino. Well managed by Sydney Minarik. Now Maho Murakami tees it up for Karina Rossi, and Nicolina Bacalo not quite getting the contact she was after with that ball, so it rolls out for a Bulleen throw. This game kicking off an hour after all of the concurrent 3 p.m. kickoffs in NPLW Victoria this afternoon, all with implications for that premiership race and for finals football. Does mean as we kick off for the second half, all of those 3 games have finished. So both of these teams, well, would have access to the full equation heading into the second half if they so desired it. You'd imagine really that both these teams, though, came into today looking to win, and that won't have changed based on anything that's happened thus far. But in any case, the results from those other 3 games, seeing Burundara getting the win at Dorothy Laver West Reserve against Alamein. Avondale, despite being a player down for the majority of the afternoon, holding on for a 1-0 win against South Melbourne. Whilst Essendon Royals, the Nike Cup champions, put on the afterburners in the second half to romp home to a commanding win in the end. All of which means the teams at the top continuing to put points on the board. Here's Cordolino for Bulleen, though. Goes with the cross first time. It's a nice delivery. Nia Saleh arriving. Bulleen lead again. Wonderful delivery. Alana Cordolino. And Nia Saleh makes no mistakes. Back into the bottom corner. And just a couple of minutes after the restart, Bulleen Lions once again hit the front. Composed finish from Nia Saleh. That's the 3rd NPL goal of the season, matching Cordolino's tally now, who also jumped up to 3 with the first half effort. And Bulleen, who were probably second best, you'd have to say, for the majority of the first half, once again find themselves ahead in this game, and Box Hill with work to do. So once again, the equation shifts at the top of the NPLW Victoria ladder. Those set of results means that Essendon Royals now jumping to 50 points, which is the tally on which Box Hill started the game this afternoon. At the start of the second half, they were up to 51 with the draw, but now that they're behind again, it means Essendon Royals are provisionally top of the NPLW Victoria ladder, with Bulleen Lions just a point behind both them and Box Hill. Avondale as well, just 2 points behind Bulleen, in what promises to be a photo finish to the NPLW Victoria Premiership crown. For what it's worth, at the bottom end of the finals picture, it means that Alamein and South Melbourne are more or less going for a head-to-head shootout for that 6th and final finals position. Cordolino's won the ball and kept it in play here. Markovski couldn't get the shot away, and the last touch coming off a Bulleen player. Yes, the top 5 more or less secured of finals now, with Burundara's win at Alamein. But this result, if it remains as it stands, would mean that Box Hill's fate isn't exactly in their own hands anymore. They'd be level on points with the Royals, but behind on goal difference. And with a game against Avondale to come next week for Pythagoras, well, they'll be right under the cosh. The Royals, meanwhile, in their season with games against Preston, Heidelberg, and away at South Melbourne. Here's Minarik, hoping to play through Bacalo. Coming across there was Renahan. Well, it is what Bulleen can do to you. They don't need to be in control of the game or dominating proceedings to score. Just half a look in, and they can do all of the damage. Here's Eliadis. It's almost a perfectly timed ball to Markovsky. Just couldn't trap the ball. Could Bulleen's number 17, who hasn't had a huge influence so far this afternoon, Mayor Markovsky. If anything, done more work defensively than in the attacking third for the Lions. Till now, though, they haven't needed her. 2-1 to the good are Bulleen. Eliadis very nearly winning back possession in what would have been a position of peril for Box Hill. Rossi hoping for Kawano on the right flank. Goes with the cross first time. It was a zipping delivery as well. Daloste made that look simpler than it was, just smothering the ball and stopping it from getting past her. Kawano uses Murakami, whose crossing is good over the head of the goalkeeper, but over Nina Bacalo's as well. And in the end, Alyssa Daloste able to settle things with the ball in her hands. Oh, Murakami so close to picking out Bacalo. Holly Murray now for Box Hill. Scored the equalising goal in the first half. Has Paliwoda. Bacalo on the turn. Ball inside from Minarik. Kawano returns the favour. Now Murakami bundling in. So does that goal mean that we'll end up in a similar position to what we saw in the first half, with Box Hill controlling the flow of the game? We didn't see a huge amount of this on the counter from Bulleen. Cordolino has Eliadis in support. Might decide to go herself, Alana Cordolino. The shot well blocked by Paliwoda. Markovsky, delivery met by Murray. Now Tartaglia steps clear of the big striker. But the pass towards Murakami couldn't be controlled. Bumford went direct, and Bulleen have themselves a corner. Well, it did turn into the pattern for a large part of the first half. Box Hill with possession, poking and prodding, unable to create particularly high-quality opportunities, but eventually the weight of possession and territory paid with the corner delivery headed home. And it's moments like this that Bulleen weren't getting enough of, but they've started the second half better, not only with that goal, but continuing to threaten on the counter. And here is a really good look from the corner to be sent in. Murray was the player who got ahead to it. Mere Lucic is patient before trying to send it back in. Eventually settles for a corner from the opposite flag. Niasale, the scorer of the goal at the start of this half, making her way over to deliver again. Goes the flat delivery this time. Eliadis' touch just took her a little too far away from the goal. Sale's ball in, Markovsky! It's in the back of the net, but the offside flag is raised. The first clean looker goal of the afternoon for Maya Markovsky. She put it into the back of the net, but not to be. Just caught ahead of the defensive line. Kane. Markovsky was charging, unable to get there in time. Eliadis now for Bulleen. Sends Cordolino on a run out wide. It was cleverly managed by Sydney Minarik. And with that, we will see a first substitution of the afternoon. And it is the return that Box Hill have been looking forward to. Sophia Sakalis coming onto the park. Replaces Karina Rossi, who had a couple of moments in the first half, but ultimately unable to make her mark in this game. Karina Rossi hit the post with that long-range attempt, but won't be Box Hill's route back into this game. Perhaps Sophia Sakalis will. Back in a Box Hill shirt, and now using Paliwoda. Kawano's pass is lovely for Murakami. Maho Murakami. Daloste was stretching and just about got there. Nearly an instant impact with the substitution. Sakalis at the start of that move. And the Kawano-Murakami connections have been splendid to watch all afternoon. We could see another one here. Kawano the target. Oh, Murakami returning the favour. But once more, Alyssa Daloste stands up to the challenge. Good couple of moments from Box Hill. Yuri Kawano did score both of Box Hill's goals in the Nike Cup quarterfinal. Header on target, but couldn't beat Daloste. Murakami spreads it to Sakalis. They've gone up a gear right now, Box Hill. Sophia Sakalis puts the cross inside. Renahan well positioned. So Yuri Kawano has shifted into that number 9 position to replace Rossi. Nicely done by Paliwoda. Could fall to the feet of Bacalo. Policina now. Tried the 1-2. Murakami wasn't able to pick out her teammate though. Now Markovsky has about 3 Box Hill shirts around her. Quick smart. Kawano. Oh, that was clever. Going again, Yuri Kawano. Not sure if that was the plan. The pass out to Sakalis, but it's worked out anyway for Box Hill. Tartaglia overlapping. Thunders the cross inside. That one was well hit, but Daloste reading it in flight. Well, we did see as the first half progressed, the Box Hill press becoming more and more suffocating for Bulleen. Maho Murakami lost it but won it back straight away. Sakalis. A real test for Annie Yates on that far side. Eliadis there in support, came bundling in. Looked to be outside the penalty area. And really it's Tiff Eliadis who's seemingly suffered the greatest damage from that coming together. Obviously the right idea, going to support a young teammate in Annie Yates, but certainly didn't get the timing right on the intervention, did Tiff Eliadis. So we'll now limp back into a defensive position as Box Hill hope that maybe another dead ball situation will see them draw level again. Over an hour played now at the Ven. Left and right-footed options. It'll be left for the right boot, right into the middle of the box. Bulleen do just enough to get it away. Tartaglia retreated to Minarik. And now Box Hill will restart from the back. Polisina's touch was effective. Sakalis and Murakami with the exchange. Bulleen come away with the ball though, led by Saleh. Paliwoda trying to disrupt, only delayed. Markovski in a foot race with Sydney Minarik, who was taking no chances in sending that out for a throw. Bomford the target, falls through to Markovski. The offside flag is up. Markovski with a splendid finish, but again it won't count. That's twice in this half that Maja Markovski has had the ball in the back of the net, but twice that the assistant's flag means that it doesn't count. So a reprieve for Box Hill. Another risk for Box Hill with the scoreline remaining as it does, as well as threatening their premiership hopes. Would also mean another game without a win away from home against one of their big rivals. They have a reasonable enough record on the road this season, Box Hill. 7 wins from 11 games. But those 3 defeats, one was here early in the season against Burundara, and then away at Avenger Park to Avondale and to Cross Keys against Essendon Royals. So it would mean, if they lost this game, that they would have lost all 4 of their away games against their fellow top 5 teams and then drawn against South Melbourne, who are currently in 6th. In any case, Bulleen now taking the opportunity to make a couple of substitutions of their own. Liv Bomford and Nia Saleh are withdrawn. Saleh, who scored the goal, which at the moment has Bulleen picking up all 3 points. And confirmation that the 2 players brought on Ash Jordan and Ava Bridus. So some healthy reinforcements for Caitlin Friend. That ball looking for Kawano. Resumes the battle with Miocic, who got the better of her opponent that time. Jordan with a first involvement. The play does continue again. Markovski now on the edge of the area. Well marshalled by Murray. That's a really great defending. Holly Murray sends the ball into touch. And we will have a pause in play as well because one of the Bulleen players has remained down in the aftermath. It is Ash Jordan who is down and receiving some attention. Of course, just came onto the park, just did Jordan, and then there was that dramatic coming together as Bulleen counter-attacked. Some consternation coming from the Box Hill bench as to the timing of the referee's whistle to stop play. Believe that Koku Sabaratnam has been shown a yellow card for his protestations behind play. Jasmine Saint Laurent instructing Ash Jordan to head over to the sideline to be invited back onto the park after play has resumed. And indeed, we are back underway with Box Hill in possession. Ash Jordan's back onto the park as well. Policina under some pressure. Murakami did well. Policina now. Spreads it to Sakalis. Nice pass from Paliwoda, but Murakami unable to take control. Box Hill will get a second go at it though. And Murray. His equalising goal feels a long time ago now. Box Hill seemed to have the game right where they wanted it going into half-time. That early goal though from Bulleen is totally changing the dynamic. There is still though plenty of opportunity for Box Hill to turn things back around. As is the Box Hill way, that starts with the ball at their feet. Having a harder time though getting into the Bulleen half in this second 45. Murray eventually pulled the trigger, but only as far as Jordan. Policina mopping up the mistake. Tartaglia and Sakalis on that far side. Policina on the turn. Murakami's pass, hoping for Minarik, who'd made the marauding run from defence. Renahan, well, under no pretense as to what her job was that time, thumping it into the stands. And with that pause in play, Bulleen will make another couple of substitutions. Alana Cordolino is the player to be withdrawn. A goal and an assist for Cordolino this afternoon. From the looks of things, Annie Yates, the other player to make way. In their stead come Nikki Furukawa as a replacement for Cordolino. And replacing Yates is JG Garon. So a couple of straight swaps, it appears. Garon taking over from Yates, Furukawa taking over from Cordolino. A really wonderful display from Alana Cordolino. We saw that goal and that assist. Here's Sakalis though for Box Hill. Cross is sent in. Falls to the path of Bacalo, who thundered the shot towards goal, and it caught Ava Bridus on its way out, so Box Hill have themselves a corner. Into the final 20 minutes of the 90. This one's got a little bit more depth on it, and over the head of everyone, the massive bodies. Eliadis goes for distance, for Rakawa the closest to it. And the result is a Bulleen throw. So they've dealt with that pretty effectively. And there will be another stoppage in play now because it looks to be Claudia Mijicic has taken a seat behind play. Bulleen, who've made 4 of their substitutions already. Danny Buttress, the only other outfielder named on the bench for this afternoon. Would of course be far from a straight swap if it were a change to be made, but Mijicic just being accompanied towards the sideline now under her own head of steam, so looks as if she'll be good to continue, Claudia Mijicic, which is good news for Bulleen. Well controlled that one by Jordan. Read well by Minarik, who's had a really good afternoon, Sydney Minarik. Proven herself to be a really valuable contributor to this Box Hill lineup. Tough to add to what was such an impressive Box Hill team last campaign, but Minarik's certainly done that. Brought in from Clemson College in South Carolina. Originally from Charlotte in North Carolina is Minarik, whose ball over the top is directed towards Kawano. Daloste always favoured though. Now Murakami uses Policina. Clever little toe poke in front of Bacalo. Back to Policina. Has a little bit of a battle and comes away with a corner, does Rihanna Policina. Cleo Angel doing the defensive work. Another player who's had a good game, Angel. Now more defending for her team. As Box Hill prepared to deliver another one from the corner flag. Policina sends it in onto the goalkeeper's head. The last touch was off a Bulleen player. So they'll get a second bite of the apple. Policina went for the quick restart, but that will not be allowed because there's a Bulleen player down right in the heart of the penalty area. Bulleen medical staff working overtime the last 5 or so minutes. Well, there isn't a whole lot of movement on the Bulleen bench at the moment, so you wonder whether Caitlin Friend has actually exhausted the outfield options available to them. Danny Buttress has been named, but no changes being readied by Bulleen, and so they may well look to continue. It does appear as if it's Claudia Mircic who again went down and is now just being escorted off the field of play. So really having to battle hard is the Bulleen number 4. But her team will have to defend this corner with a numerical disadvantage. So Policena to deliver again. That one much too skinny. So Bulleen escape. Claudia Mircic back onto the park. Doesn't look totally comfortable, the Bulleen defender, but well, will probably feel as if she has to soldier on for the remainder of this one. 3 points so important to Bulleen's campaign. Furukawa with the press. 1-2 with Markovsky. Had gone offside though. Canadian forward. So a little bit of a stop-start last 10-15 minutes. And as we head towards the final 10 of the 90, well, Box Hill, they'll feel like they really need to start getting some of that pressure accumulation going. Having the ball in the Bulleen half. It was ultimately what led to the opening goal. That ball over the top could find Kawano, but Renahan was composed. Comes thundering into Bukalo, did Nikki Furukawa. And that will mean the substitute goes into Jasmine Saint Laurent's notebook with a yellow card. So once more, Paliwoda and Policena. Policena again inside. The touch on the ball, all the way in. Box Hill a level. Rihanna Policena's delivery. The players run towards their number 10 and celebrate. It doesn't look as if there was a touch. And just like that, with over 10 minutes remaining in the 90, Box Hill have brought it to 2-2. We'll perhaps need a microscopic examination to see whether there was any touch on the ball, but from the reaction of the players. Rihanna Pollicina taking all the plaudits. And so, after 2 meetings between these teams, which finished 2-2 after 90 minutes, we've played 80 minutes here at the Ven, and it's that scoreline again, 2-2. Crucially as well for Box Hill, that goal returning themselves, well, their destiny really, into their own hands for the remainder of the season. Puts them back on top of the ladder, a point ahead of Essendon Royals, as well as fending off the Bulleen Lions surge. The first equaliser in the first half you felt was the culmination of a long period of play in which Box Hill were in control of the game. That one, not so much. It's been a staccato second half. That's a clever one too between Markovski and Furukawa. Ball inside. Pickett was covering. Furukawa will get another look at it. Oh, that's clever. Nikki Furukawa went to ground. Referee not interested. So play continues. Well, some late contention at the Veneto Club. Play will now be paused as the referee goes to check on the welfare of both players, Bacalo and Furukawa. So from the looks of things, we'll have another little pause in the action as Nina Bacalo now gets some medical attention. Nikki Furukawa is back on their feet, so doesn't look as if the Bulleen player has too many concerns. It's been a funny old game, this one. We've seen some really distinct phases of play, different ways to be in control or to be trying to get the better of your opposition with and without the ball. The second half has just been little flashes of excitement right at the start when Bulleen made it 2-1, and then of course that Pollicina equaliser. So play back underway. Kawano and Murakami combining as they have so often in this game. Sakalis into Pollicina. Now Pickett charging out of defence. Did run into a brick wall in the shape of Ash Jordan. Eventually Bulleen back with some comfortable possession. It's a nice pass from Mijicic. Touch from Garon, unable to keep the ball in play. Mijicic again will lead the charge back to this ball. Inside to Bridus, closed down by Murakami. Now Sakalis popping up on the left flank this time. Pollicina. Oh, you saw the idea, just trying to slide it into the path of Sophia Sakalis. Does quite suddenly feel as if Box Hill are right back in the ascendancy. Substitution now for Box Hill, as Nina Bacalo, the late inclusion, does indeed make way for Gabby Simpson. Player brought up from Bentley Greens, now making, well, hoping to make her mark from the bench. Any goal from now, well, could go a long way to securing silverware for Box Hill. Paliwoda. Out to Sakalis. Clever Sophia Sakalis. Murakami. Cross inside. Renahan in prime position. Now Murray. There are some tired players out there. It has been a relentless game at times. No doubt they'll all have benefited from those injury stoppages, all that is except for the players concerned. Claudia Mircic continuing to soldier on. That pass back to Murray invites the Furukawa press, but the defender cool on the ball. Up to Murakami and now Sakalis. Charging central is Sakalis, met by Angel. And it's a Box Hill free kick again. It's the situation from which both of their goals have come. Both Policina deliveries. This one further out than either of those ones. And as a result, it's taken short. Simpson, the substitute's first involvement, could fall to Policina. Oh, Rihanna Policina! That is a thunderbolt into the top corner. And with it, Box Hill have taken a giant step towards a premiership crown. Simpson with the impact off the bench. Rihanna Policina, though, has been the star of the show. A second goal to go with an assist. And she may well have single-handedly dragged Box Hill over the line here. There is still time for Bulleen to get back into this one. But Rihanna Policina has saved the best for last. A sensational strike. Melissa Daloste had no hope of getting to that one. So now for the first time, Bulleen trail. Ball inside towards Markovski. Sagavcic, quick off her line, as she had to be. It's been a much less busy afternoon for Keely Sagavcic than her opposite number. Kawano leading Renahan to the ball. Went down too easily. Sakalis happy to continue. Well, you can see what Sophia Sakalis thought of that. Sophia Sakalis, rather, thought of that decision to award Bulleen the throw. Cleo Angel. Well, what a thriller we have been treated to this afternoon. Sarah Kane looks forward. Eliadis on the turn. Markovski now. Couldn't get past Tartaglia. Stepping out of the defence. Still Amelia Tartaglia. Ball one back for Bulleen. Shot from range. Comfortable claim for Sagavcic. Was Ava Bridus trying her luck. Well, with that goal, Box Hill, it means that they move back to 3 points clear on top of the NPLW Victoria ladder. 3 points clear of Essendon Royals. 6 points clear of Avondale, who they play next weekend at Wembley Park. The big games keep coming, but at the moment, Box Hill keep winning. Can they see out the remaining 60 seconds plus stoppage time of this one? Eliadis and Sakalis going head-to-head. Bulleen have themselves a throw. As that ball sent clear. Bulleen, meanwhile, they could, having not that long ago been within a point of the top, could find themselves all the way down in 4th position. Here's Angel, tries the ball through to Eliadis. Sagavicic gets there first. But Bulleen, they'd be in 4th, a whole 7 points off the top. It would effectively end their premiership hopes as we move into 7 minutes of second half stoppage time. So plenty of opportunity still for Bulleen to pull themselves level once more. Kawano for Box Hill. Doesn't have a lot of support, so just going for territory. 7 minutes is a long time to be clinging onto a 1-goal lead. See the 5 numbers in line with the Box Hill defence for Bulleen. Well managed by Paliwoda there. He's there to be a counter-attacking move. Not forthcoming for Simpson. Could this be the chance through on goal for Bulleen? Furukawa just wide. It fell favourably for the substitute. It was a tight angle and just unable to thread that needle between Sagavicic and the post. Sagavicic, no surprise, taking her time to deliver this free kick. Or goal kick, I should say. Beats just about everyone. That was a clear shove from Claudia Mircic, who will presumably go into the book for that one as well. Policina with some afters. Well, this game has given us just about everything up to this point, and tensions threatening to boil over. Jasmine Saint Laurent hoping to keep a lid on things. It was a pretty clear foul from Claudia Mircic. And indeed goes into the referee's book as a result. Yuri Kawano does as well. Don't think Box Hill will mind that kind of stoppage, just denying Bulleen any kind of rhythm or repeated look into the final third. And as you saw with that touch from Policina, the goal here is disrupt, deny, delay. Renahan sends the throw up. And Box Hill have themselves a throw. Well, the discussion on the pitch remains animated as ever. Jasmine Saint Laurent having to lay down the law a little bit. The throw-in never entered the field of play. Some calls for Yuri Kawano to receive some punishment for kicking the ball away, having just gone into the referee's notebook. Sakalis' touch is a good one. Into the path of Kawano. Back to Sakalis. This would seal the game. Kane back covering and hoofing it upfield. Eliadis closed down by Paliwoda. Did really well in the end, Tiff Eliadis, to get the ball out to the left flank. Jordan delivers. Furukawa is offside. Well, both the Box Hill dugout and the Box Hill fans in the stands into raptures, really, just with that offside flag going up. They've caught Bulleen offside. Must be 6 or 7 times in this game, Box Hill. Furukawa going a little bit too early. Final couple of minutes in this game. Is there to be another twist? Pollicina shielding the ball. Draws the foul. It's genius from Rihanna Pollicina. All of that technical ability coming to the fore at the crucial moment. It's more time off the clock. More time in the Bulleen half as well, which is just what you want if you're Box Hill right now. Can't imagine this one will be heading towards the penalty area. Paliwoda does go wide. It's been kept in play as well. Falls to Murakami. Turned one way, then the other. Now hopes to find Simpson. Gabby Simpson, who's crossed from around this position, led to the goal that at the moment is the winner. And Box Hill heading to the corner flag. They've got the throw as well, Pythagoras. They're almost there now. Under a minute remains of the 7 allocated for stoppage time. Of course, at the discretion of our referee, whether and to what extent we play over the 7-minute minimum. Clever couple of touches. Cross inside. Sakalis at the back post. Box Hill, just for a moment, thought they had the fourth, but now they've got to scrabble back and defend. Bulleen charge. Angel. Met by Minarik. What an evening she's had. Perfectly timed challenge. Sending the ball into touch. Renahan now. Waste no time getting it to Kane. Inboard. Brightest touch. Rinse and repeat for Bulleen. Angel. Sent away by Murray. The touch, though, was off the Bulleen youngster. Is that enough for Box Hill? Seconds continuing to tick by. Sarah Kane couldn't see the ball under a spell. Referee's whistle hovering near her mouth. That's full time. Box Hill have done it. Twice they came from behind. And late on, Rihanna Pollicina with a sweet, sweet strike, giving Box Hill 3 points, which gives them a massive boost en route towards a potential premiership crown. 3 points clear, they remain on top of the Senol NPLW Victoria ladder with just 3 games remaining. They've beaten one of their main rivals at the home of Bulleen Lions. And things are shaping up rather nicely for Box Hill at the moment. They still haven't lost a league game since May. And they are looking like an almighty force to try and stop heading into the final weeks of the campaign. A huge game coming up again for Box Hill next time out as they'll take on Avondale, another of their main rivals towards the end of the campaign. Bulleen will need to regroup before their final 3. They take on Boroondara next time out as well, so another game with significant implications for the top 6. But either way, Bulleen, their premiership hopes more or less dashed with this result. Box Hill in pole position. A thrilling contest we were treated to this afternoon at the Veneto Club. 2 Rihanna Pollicina goals to go alongside Holly Murray's header. The efforts from Box Hill, whilst for Bulleen, Alana Cordolino opened the scoring and got the assist for Nia Saleh, which looked to have Bulleen on the right track. Not to be in the end, though. Box Hill take the 3 points back to Wembley Park. And as we head into the final 3 weeks of the regular season and finals, we'll be hoping to be treated to plenty more matches just like the one we saw this evening. But that's all the time that we have from the Veneto Club. A thriller towards the end of the NPLW Victoria season. Full-time score, Bulleen Lions 2, Box Hill 3.